Hi there, it's me. I'm sitting in my backyard right next to probably my favorite tree in this yard. That's it, right there. It's called an ironwood tree. It's lovely. It gives a beautiful shade in the spring and the summer and the fall. And in winter, it is just a stunning piece of art, I think, with lots and lots of branches, and it's just amazing. So I'm getting ready to read you a story about trees. Well, about the tree lady. So I thought it would be appropriate to sit under my favorite tree to read it to you. I'm a little stuffy because of the spring. The spring allergies season. So this is called The Tree Lady. The Tree Lady was written by Joseph Hopkins and was gloriously illustrated by Jill McElmurray. Catherine Olivia Sessions grew up in the woods of Northern California. She gathered leaves from oaks and elms. She collected needles from pines and redwoods, and she braided them together with flowers to make necklaces and bracelets. It was the 1860s, and girls from Kate's side of town weren't supposed to get their hands dirty, but Kate did. My kind of girl. Kate listened well in school. She learned how to read and count. She remembered the poems and stories she read. But best of all, she liked studying wind and rain, muscles and bones, plants and trees, especially trees. Most girls were discouraged from studying science, but not Kate. Here's her teacher. Kate felt the trees were her friends. She loved the way they reached toward the sky and how their branches stretched wide to catch the light. Trees seemed to Kate like giant umbrellas that sheltered her and the animals, birds, and plants that lived in the forest. And she was right. Not everyone feels at home in the woods, but Kate did. Look at that. That's the cover photo, and I love it. The cover illustration. When Kate grew up, she left home to study science at college. She looked at soil and insects through a microscope. She learned how plants made food and how they drank water. And she studied trees from around the world. No woman had ever graduated from the University of California with a degree in science. But in 1881, Kate did. Here she is. She's the first woman to graduate, to achieve that kind of education in her times was a really big deal. She was a scientist. When only men used to be scientists. After graduation, Kate took a job in Southern California. When her boat docked in San Diego, she saw that her new home was a desert town. Kate never thought she would live in a place with very few trees, but now she did. Kate began her job as a teacher. She was also the vice principal of the school, so she had to make sure that everyone followed the rules. Kate missed studying science and was not sure she would stay on the job. But for 2 years, she did. So sometimes you do things that are hard. And we all can do hard things. Teaching sometimes can be hard, even if you enjoy it. From her school, Kate could see City Park in the hills above town. It was called a park, but it didn't look like one. It was where people grazed cattle and dumped garbage. Most San Diegans didn't think trees could ever grow there, but Kate did. It's nice to live with hope. There she is, writing on her blackboard. With Kate's love for the woods, she thought San Diego needed trees more than anything else. So she left teaching to become a gardener. She knew she must plant trees that could live in dry soil with lots and lots of sunshine. Her friends worried Kate wouldn't find trees like that. But she did. She knew she would. She had hope. These are glorious tree illustrations. Kate became a tree hunter and gatherer. She wrote letters to gardeners all over the world and asked them to send her seeds that could grow in the desert. She also traveled south into Mexico to look for trees that liked hot, dry weather and steep hills and canyons. Not everyone knows how to hunt for trees, but Kate did. It's a whole bunch of different trees right here. Let's see. There's a yucca and a eucalyptus and an Aleppo pine and a boujum and a quiver tree, a jacaranda, an Italian cypress, a bristlecone pine, a Brazilian pepper, a palm tree, a naked coral tree, and a dragon tree. They're awesome. I'm going to make a copy of this page and send it to you guys because I think you'll really like it to look at it closely. This is all her correspondence, all her mail from all over the world. It looks like Brazil and Africa and Spain and Chile and Algeria and Morocco and Egypt. Ooh, the Ivory Coast in Africa, Portugal, Argentina. Lots of places. Soon, Kate's trees were planted along streets, around schools, and in small parks and plazas all over town. People bought trees from Kate's nursery and planted them in their yards. From elms and oaks and eucalyptuses and palms, by the turn of the century, young trees from Kate's nursery were growing in every part of San Diego. Most people didn't think a desert town could sustain so many trees, but Kate did. Wow. I love this picture. It looks so different from when she first got there. Remember, it was first very, very dry and kind of just buildings. Look at these guys. Then in 1909, the city leaders announced that a great fair called the Panama California Exposition was coming to San Diego in 1915. The fair would be held in City Park, which was now called Balboa Park. Kate felt Balboa Park still needed more trees, thousands more, to look beautiful and to shade the visitors that came to the fair. Trees, trees, more trees. Those are the city leaders. They were only guys. They're planning this big event. That was too many trees for Kate to plant by herself. but she knew lots of people could do it together. La Minga. Remember La Minga? When we all get together and we just cooperate with each other and work hard. La Minga. She asked her friends to bring their friends and come to the park for tree planting parties. Again and again, people volunteered to help. Those volunteers weren't sure they could plant enough trees, but before long, they did. It's amazing the things we could do when we have a lot of friends, and friends of friends, and family. If we work together really hard, we can do hard things. And when the fair opened, San Diego was ready. Millions of trees and plants filled Balboa Park. The fair had so many visitors. It stayed open for 2 years instead of 1. People came from near and far to see the attractions and stroll in the cool shade. The fairgoers couldn't believe San Diego had such magnificent gardens, but thanks to Kate, it did. Look, check this out. What? Amazingness. Love this. In the years after the fair, Kate was given many awards for her work, and people took to calling her the mother of Balboa Park. She continued gardening and planting trees until her death in 1940. Back then, few could have imagined that San Diego would become the lush, leafy city it is today. Those are her tools. Here she is when she was older. She had worked her entire life, had dedicated her entire life to working to make San Diego a more beautiful place where there were more trees and more oxygen and just beauty. But all along, year after year, Catherine Olivia Sessions did. There she is. She's just gazing up at her trees, enjoying them. I do that out here. I didn't know about Catherine, but I like that she likes trees. I hope that this inspires you to look at trees, climb trees, draw trees, paint trees, build trees, however you want to. Or not. Maybe you just want to look at trees. That's good enough. In any case, but if you do get inspired and draw a tree or 2 or 3, draw and send them our way. Post them so we could see the pictures of them. I think I'm working on some trees myself. I'll let you know. I'll post something up. Yeah, I hope you enjoy that story. I love it. Love the illustrations. Hope to see some of yours because I love your illustrations as well. And I miss them. Love to you all. See you soon.